And today on Coffee and Conversation with your girl Shakenya. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel Shakenya and hit subscribe, guys. Look at some of the videos, and if you see any of them that you like, I appreciate if you share. Yep, I know. Yep, card's coming off. And I didn't tag these glasses, but these are my little readers. I got these from the Authentic Boutique, and it's right up here on Grand River and Greenfield in our plaza. Yeah, we got the daycare down there. We got the boutique down there. So, yeah, go down there and patronize that. She has some of the cutest outfits. Some of the outfits that you see me wear on Friday when I transform and do the RuPaul Drag Race and become sexy Shakenya, the little flower, right? I wear some of her outfits. Yeah, she got the cutest little outfits. If you going to church, if you going to an event, she got you covered. Yep. Make sure you get a copy of my book, Dysfunctional Family Knot. You can get it from lulupublishing.com. I appreciate you. Love you long time. Yeah. Get a couple copies. Pass them out to your friends. Right? So, y'all, today, we're talking about raising our little girls. Yeah. This would have been part 4, but I got to throw in a manipulation tip because, you know, we keep in balance. Y'all are seniors now. So we can talk about any and everything at any given time, and you should be on point. You should be catching balls in the sky. You should be stopping little kids from hitting their head on the end of the table. You should be grabbing them up when you see they about to fall. That's how good an experience you should be by now as a parent, right? So, yeah, we're talking about your little girls. One of the little girls yesterday at work at Family Dollar, I'm straight off just a little bit. Little young lady at work at Family Dollar, she's expecting. And it's the cutest thing, right? Because I just noticed it. So she's 7 months in. So she been kind of I ain't going to say hiding it, but I ain't synced it until yesterday, right? So she's cute as a button. You got to be careful because everybody that look pregnant ain't pregnant. So you got to be sure. Please be sure, right? So I've been watching her. This is my local Family Dollar, so I can tell. I'm a mother, right? You can tell. So I'm looking at her face. I'm looking at her little puffy hands. Oh, yeah, she's pregnant, right? So I'm talking to her, and she, you know what? Said she was 7 months. I asked her what she was having. She's having a little girl. I told her it's going to be so much fun. So much fun having a little girl, right? Oh, my God, I wanted a little girl so bad. And I got 2. The Lord blessed me with 2, right? So, yes, I love being a girl mom as well as love being a boy mom, right? But she said, I'm a little nervous about delivering, right? She said she's scared of the baby coming out. And I said, you should very well be, you know? Anybody talk to you about that? And she said, no. And it broke my heart. So as she was ringing up my stuff, I felt like it was a teachable moment time, right? For me to jump in and be, you know, that person. So, yeah, I talked to her about having sex still. Yep. Make sure she has sex at this time. Yep, it's not going to hurt the baby. I know that's a misconception, right? No, it's not. It's actually going to help keep you open down there. And if I'm wrong, gynecologists and doctors and obstetricians, you know, the people that work with the baby doctors, jump on in, let me know and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to be giving out bad information. But I was told to have sex. Yep. And I want to say from family members, I want to say from elders, I even want to say my doctor might have threw it out there, right? So, yep, I let her know to have sex. Be gentle, of course, but yep, it keeps you open down there. And then I let her know about the baby dropping, right? She's going to get to a point where she's going to experience the baby getting lower and lower and just kind of sitting on her bladder, right? And it's like at that point, the baby is dropping and the baby is kind of getting informed and getting itself ready to come out, right? Come out that canal. So I told her when she feel the baby sitting down there and just sitting, she got to start walking more. This to help bring the baby down. This to help with all that. Kind of stretch a little bit if she can. Exercise, right? But definitely told her to walk. Walk. And it'll help with that process. And then I let her know it's going to hurt. Yeah. I let her know to work on her breathing exercises. Yeah, that's going to be very important. Very important to work on her breathing exercise. I let her know don't holler. when them contractions come. I know you're going to hear other ladies in the rooms hollering and screaming and going crazy, and it's going to prompt you to get nervous and probably scream and go crazy, but don't you do it. Don't you do it. You have all that energy and angst and anxiety and stuff that you have, and you hollering, all you doing is making it harder for the baby. Yeah. But when you breathe through it, yeah, breathe. So some of the stuff she heard from her doctor, but some of it she hadn't heard at all, right? I let her know it's going to hurt when that baby come down. Yeah. It's going to be such a release and a relief when that baby come out. But during the process, while the baby is going down that canal and trying to find this way to come out and see that little bit of light, you're going to be in pain. By this being your first baby, I'm hoping your pain lasts maybe 4. I said if you had that baby in 3-4 hours, that's a good delivery. That is a good delivery. That means you wasn't in pain for long at the time. Your contractions was coming back to back. You got dilated pretty quickly and poof. That baby slid out. Home base, right? But if you in labor longer than that, sweetie, yep, it's going to be agonizing. It's going to be crucial. I stood there in line, and she took time to ring my stuff up. And people behind me just looking. Wasn't nobody behind me. I wouldn't have dared held that line up like that. There wasn't nobody behind me. But she had to hear everything that I said to her. And she was a little nervous, but you could look and see the relief because nobody said that. But everything that I told her, I heard from my grandmothers. I heard from my aunties. I heard from the women in my family. My mom even chimed in on a couple of those things, right? That's something that she should have been told by an elder in the family, right? It's certain secrets and certain things as a woman that you got to pass down to your little girl, right? That right there should have had solidified me a seat in my daughter's life, right? Just the fact that I've had the opportunity or the pleasure or a blessing, because it was truly a blessing, to have not only my grandmothers in my life on both sides of the family, but I also had my great-grandmama in my life from my dad's side, and I had a great aunt on the side. Oh my goodness. Being raised by those women, the amount of wisdom that was passed down to me, just having them in my life, right? So a lot of that stuff, and then they all knew that I was pregnant before I knew, right? So they had a secondary sense of certain things, right? We would call them visions, right? So they all let me know that I was expecting, right? So they told me all of that. So that was passed down, right? Just like when we talked the other day, ladies at a particular age who are experiencing menopause and how important it is for you to talk to your daughters about menopause. I'm talking to the oldest because I'm going through it. So that section of life where I'm there as the mom, I'm in the next phase of life for her to continue education, right? By the daughter being pulled out, the baby being pulled out and only having grandma, it's like a generation has been skipped. So just by the generation of me not being in her life and other people being supplements, and it's a lot of stuff that I'm quite sure it keeps me up at night. The amount of things that I know that she has not been taught in the 7 years that she hasn't been in my life. I cannot sleep. Many nights I'm up because I know that she got to be at a loss in certain areas of her life because I'm not there to show her, I'm not there to hold her hand, and I'm not there to teach her. And the fact that people feel that this is the best thing. So many people are on board with my child growing up without me in her life, that this is the best thing. The fact that I stay up at night because I know it's things that she's never going to be taught, have not been taught, and things that she don't know that she should know, keeps me up at night. People are on board with that. As if I don't care, I don't matter, my contributions didn't matter. A mother. I know it's rare, but follow me. This is what I've been dealing with for 7 years. I know it's rare, Twitch over there. Facebook, y'all know what it is, right? Y'all been rolling with me for a minute, so y'all like, yeah, that's a damn shame. That nigga know you wrong, blah, 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 right? Twitch, on the other hand, they like, what the hell? What the helly? This is their second day with me, so they don't know what the hell going on. Just follow along Twitch and go to my YouTube channel, Shakenya. Look at the videos and get caught up, okay? So, Yeah, it's a shame. It's terrible. Yeah, it's real bad. It's real bad because I dread to know who's raising her and who have raised her in these 7 years. What type of women have raised her, right? Considering none has reached out to me and I have not talked to any of them and it's like I'm non-existent. That right there shows a lot for their character, right? The fact of, I don't know what it is. It can be trying to outdo me. It can be better than me. Let me do better. I don't know what people be thinking half the time, right? So I care not to even say. But just know that a real woman would have reached out to me. Yeah. A real woman that's raising children, that knows the importance of a child having a mother, knowing my place, knowing what I did do, because I'm quite sure nobody could discredit me. I'm quite sure none of the women that raised her can say that they seen me out of pocket, seen me out of line, heard me being, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can say that, because that right there would speak volumes. But the fact that nobody can say any of that, yeah. A real woman would have reached out to me to find out what's the real reason why my daughter is not in my life. What's the real reason why I'm not there, right? A real woman would want to know. Me, if it was one of her friends, because she had like a little set of friends, and they just told me just out the blue, the mother was just taken out, and it's the same mama that I would see dropping her off at practice, the same mama that I know she was living with. I'm going to have questions. I'm going to have questions as a mom. I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to reach out to that sister and see if she needs some help. I'm going to reach out to that daughter and see if there's anything that I can say to her to make her want to do right or be in the mother's life. If anything that I can do to help that mom, any resources I'm going to try to get to the bottom of why this mother, because that's the last thing you do is remove a child from a mom. Yeah. Working with a couple of different organizations, we work closely with CPS, and that was the last thing that you want to do is remove a child from a mother. Remove a child, period. I know you think CPS, their job is to come and take your kids, but no, that's not it. They provide services and resources to help you keep your child in your home. Right? If you convicted of drug charges and this and that, they're going to find rehabs for you to get off drugs, and they're going to make sure you follow through. You're going to get tested, and you're going to show that you're clean for a certain length of time before you can get those babies back, if they've been taken. Because sometimes they give you time while they're still in your care to get it right. And then they remove them if you do not comply, right? But if they've already been taken, because I've dealt with both sectors, they've already been taken, yeah, they're going to initiate all type of programs and resources to make sure your child gets back in your care and in your custody. You never remove a child from a mother. Never remove a child from a mother, yeah. And if it has been removed, if the child has been removed, you're going to do everything you can to make sure that they're reunited, yeah. Because a child's mother is so important. It's so vital, yeah. Especially a good mother. Very vital in a child's life. Right. So, yeah. Yeah, so I talked to her, the young lady at Family Dollar. Yeah, she felt so relieved after our conversation. Blah, 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 blah. We're going to talk about manipulation tips. We're going to get back into raising your daughters tomorrow. That would be what? Chapter 4? Part 4? We're going to get back into it tomorrow. But, every now and then I have to interrupt and keep you on board and keep you abreast of the manipulation tips from your 9th grade year. Because now that y'all are seniors, we're looking at the psychological damage and the adverse effect that it has on your child from you using it all that time, right? So, one of the manipulation tips that we talked about was when they tell the child that's what you're supposed to do. They use that term so loosely, right? It's one thing to say, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, yeah, but when they use it as a manipulation tip, they chalk up everything that you do under that's what you're supposed to do, right? I know you might not think that that's a big deal, right? But if you raising a child to go against a parent, raising a child to be disrespectful, you trying to get a child out of a parent's life, one way to desensitize that child from what you do as a parent is putting everything under that what you're supposed to do umbrella. Oh, yes. Oh, you'll be surprised how fast that devalues your work and what you do. Oh, and they use it so loosely, right? What you're supposed to do is provide food, clothing, and shelter for that baby. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Make sure they got food in the refrigerator. It ain't even got to be the kind that what they want or the name. Just long as you got food for nourishment in that house. Bread and water, right? In the house for that baby. Yeah, you did that, right? Clothes. Yep. Long as they got underwear, socks, right? Shoes, right? Little jacket for each weather, because we in Michigan, so you get a taste of everything, right? You make it ain't gotta be name brand. Oh, it ain't gotta be name brand. That's extra. That go in the extra credit box, right? If you get that shoes from Walmart or if you get them from Strike or wherever, if they name brand, oh, that's extra credit. Yeah, you ain't supposed to do that. You ain't got to do that, right? Yeah. And if you provide shelter, yeah. If you provide shelter, so that means you paying the bills, you making sure that is water, working water and lights, right? Make sure you paying the taxes, you paying that mortgage for that house, and you got the upkeep of the house. Anything break, or you doing that. They got a place to stay, rest their heads. Yep. They ain't even got to have their own room. That's extra. That's extra, right? But if you're doing that, that's the bare necessities. You doing what you're supposed to do. So anything outside of that, we're gonna stop with just that. If you're doing that and you doing what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to get credit for that. So when they doing using it as a manipulation tip, they chalk everything up under that, and then they make it to where they don't even give you credit for doing what you're supposed to do. Because if they're giving you credit, that means they itemizing, they taking it out, they putting stuff in the extra credit box, they not doing none of that, right? So yeah, they keep it at a level to where that ain't nothing special. That's what they supposed to do. Blah blah blah. Yeah, and things get misconstrued. They get misconstrued. Yep, you got a child taking advantage. You got a child not appreciating what you do. You got a child that's like blase. Just because somebody lumped everything up and put it in under what you're supposed to do as a parent. I know it's nasty work when you manipulate a child. Yeah. If you manipulate them for sexual preferences, if you manipulate them just to turn them against the other parent, when you manipulate them to indulge in different things, delinquency of a minor with drugs and alcohol. Yeah, because I don't see it all on the internet. I don't see kids smoking, adults giving kids weed and drinking with. I don't see it all on the internet. It'll make you cry, right? So yeah, just. So if you're doing what you're supposed to do as a parent, yeah, you're supposed to be loved and respected, yeah, by that child. And by that baby mama or baby daddy. Yeah. You doing what you're supposed to do, you should be loved and respected by not only that child, but by that baby mama or baby daddy, right? So make sure you have underwear, socks, and options, name brand. So if you buying phones, that's extra credit. You buying PS5 or 3s or games, that's extra credit. You buy a name brand clothes, that's extra credit. So the extra credit, that child should love you even more. Oh, yes. That child should love you even more. Right? So, love and respect. This is basic, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to stay the script. So when they lump it up to what you're supposed to do, it's trumped down. Nothing is special. Nothing is extra. Yeah. I know, ain't that terrible? Because I did so much extra credit stuff, right? Extra credit stuff. Taking them to school every morning. Oh, yeah. That's extra credit. Yep, you ain't got to. It be so many kids walking to school by themselves, unsupervised. Oh, my God. It used to break my heart. My grandma used to take us to school every day. Yeah. So I used to love the fact that she took us to school every day and we didn't have to walk every day. Yeah. So I made sure that I incorporate that in my parenting style. So I said, if I ever have children, I'm going to make sure I'm able to try to get them to school every day and get them home. Because I know how I felt with those rides, right? Your child should love you. Oh, my God. That should be like a point. Like kids should be keeping score. I know they shouldn't, but when y'all going at each other and it's like y'all rivals and y'all out, y'all put a child in a position to keep score, right? So they have to keep score. It should be so many scores on my side, so many points. I should not have like nothing. I shouldn't end up with nothing. Yeah, if I was doing what I was supposed to do, there was no abuse or neglect, I shouldn't end up with nothing. No cause, no show, no nothing. No nothing, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so doing what I was supposed to do should have earned me a place in her life as her mother. Yeah, doing everything that I was supposed to do should have earned me a place somewhere in her life as her mother. Why would there be no place for me? So either I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do or I was. See, so that's why your child ends up, when they become adults, they end up on the couch. They end up on somebody's couch, which is a good thing. Because some kids don't make it to the couch because some kids don't realize when they get older that something is really wrong, right? So they go, you see, it's been 7 years for me. And it's probably going to be another 7 years. I hope that I'm alive when she realizes what a great loss I was. When she realized that there is a place for me. And when she realized that she needs me in her life. I hope that I am still alive. Yeah. I hope it don't be a situation where I'm not here. And when she realized it, and I'm in my happy place up here with God, right? That she realized it and it hits her, right? And then she has to live with the regret and the resentment, along with already the psychological damage and adverse effect that's been caused to pull her even out my life, right? So that's years of therapy, right? But all this is caused by the other parent. Can you believe that? All this is caused by the other parent on purpose. On purpose. So, yeah, if you're doing what I'm supposed to do, it should be a spot for me. They're supposed to do whatever to keep that other parent in the child's life. You got to do whatever it takes to keep that other parent in that child's life. Yeah, whatever you can do. Yeah, that means you might have to call it a extra time to remind them to be somewhere. I know it ain't your job, it ain't your responsibility, but you know that parent because you was with them. So, sometimes they're a little forgetful. Sometimes their life is hectic. And this is not excuses. This is real life. You know how this person is. Don't use those things against them, right? So you know that if you did call them and remind them, they'll be there. But if you don't, it's a good chance they either going to not show up, they're going to be late, they're going to be like, damn, I forgot why you didn't, I know they not showing accountability, they not being responsible. No, that's not it. That's y'all working together. Because you know what you're dealing with. Yeah. See, when y'all break up, a manipulative parent is going to use all your weaknesses against you. And they're going to also try to use all your strengths against you. Yeah. Because you got to think about it. They got to come up with a plan to remove you from that child's life. They just can't remove them. If you go to CPS and try to remove them, when they do their investigation and realize there's no abuse or neglect, nothing's going to happen. So when you have a parent that's doing what they're supposed to do, you have to use all these manipulation tips to get the child out their life. Because you can't just go the normal route because there's no abuse or neglect. Those are the only two reasons why a child would be removed from a parent's life. So you got to go even deeper and you got to get nasty with it because you got to play with that child's mind. You got to make this child feel like it's okay to be disrespectful. It's okay to disown their parent. It's okay to be disobedient. You got to make a child, condition a child's mind to think it's okay. My child is conditioned to think that I don't love her. That man had to do any and everything he could to make her feel as if I don't love her. That's nasty work. That's nasty work because if you go back into all the way to conception, it ain't nothing but love there. I loved her before she got here. And how you show love before your child get here, Mom, is by not using drugs or alcohol when you find out that you are pregnant. Yep, that's love before that baby gets here. That means you purifying your womb. You making sure that child is not going to be acceptable to all the stuff out here in the world, right? You eating properly. You taking your prenatal vitamins. You going to the doctor for every appointment, right? This is what you doing before that child even get here. You showing love before that child get here. And then when my children were born, I didn't suffer from postpartum depression. right? So there was a natural bond there. Natural. Everything was natural. The love, there was nothing to separate me from that child, right? So from that point on, going into all the blocks that we talked about 3 days ago, right? Talked about everything that I used, all the building blocks that I had to start the foundation for parenting, right? Nothing should have been able to separate me from that baby. So when you think about everything that did have to be done, that's what brings us to coffee and conversation in the morning. That's what brings me to a place where every day I come on here to tell you what not to do and what to do when it comes to raising your children together after the breakup. You might not think that that's important. You might not care about your baby mama or baby daddy after the breakup. But au contraire, my friend. Yeah, you have to care. You have to show care and concern because you have to teach that baby how to. So that means when other children are being taught that they only get one mother, that you got to love your mother no matter what, you love your mother unconditionally, you forgive your mom, blah, blah, blah. My child was not taught that. So if you wonder how easy it was for them, no, it wasn't easy. It was just when other people are being taught this, my child was being taught something else. Yeah. She was shown a picture, though, of the same thing that I was teaching her, meaning that her dad and his mother relationship, the TT and the grandmother, how everybody had her friends and they mama, right? Other cousins and relatives. She probably the only one in her sector that don't have a mama, right? Just like in my sector, I'm the only one in my world with my mom and dad's side and my family and my village who baby daddy took the child out their life and don't have no communication with them. I'm the only one in my sector. My children are the only one that has just like she the only one on her side. Because they not teaching that. At least you're not supposed to be. So that means my person, my baby daddy, he's compromised his morals and his values to teach her to go against me. I know. Fix it, Jesus, that's terrible. Yeah, so I did everything I was supposed to do so she could secure me a spot in her life, right? Keep parents in charge, doing what they're supposed to do. They put everything under that umbrella to desensitize the child and to make it seem like it's not that much. Supposed to do. I don't know why I wrote this part down because we're not talking about the boys, but I did write supposed to do, like I had to do it all. Like, so I must have skipped a spot. Because chances are, when I said, because chances are if the parent is doing what they're supposed to do, why would you take them out of the parents? Why would you take them out of the child's life? Yeah, you don't want to compete with that parent. Because another way of them taking it out is if they do everything that you was doing to eliminate you and eliminate your position. Like he found somebody to do, so many different women probably to do some of the things that I was doing. I know one of her friends' mamas was picking her up from school and one was taking her to school the days that she didn't drive herself with no license. Somebody else was taking her to he had like 7 or 8 different people doing different things because I was doing all of it. Right? So you had to break it up and whatnot. So when you compete and when he tried to do the things that I was doing, remember he started taking her to her doctor's appointments, taking her to physicals, shit that he ain't had no business doing. He started doing everything. So if you're doing my job, who's doing your job? Right? So if you're competing with this parent and you're trying to eliminate them, you're doing everything that they supposed to be doing, and you're trying to eliminate them by you doing, who's doing your part? Who's doing everything that you're supposed to be doing? Right? And I noticed something wasn't right a few times when men will open the door for her, right? And she wouldn't say thank you, right? That's something that she should have learned from dad because dad should have been the one opening doors. And I'm not saying he didn't open doors for her. I'm not saying that. But you can tell that something was not taught in that. I got to teach her that, right? So when I was raising the boys, by them not having a dad, I had to do both sides as much as I could, right? But I also, by me knowing that I can't raise a boy to be a man, I had different men there in place to teach them some of the things that I know I couldn't teach, right? And I had men in place to teach them things that I did teach them because sometimes they still need to hear it from a man. I don't care what you do, Mom. I don't care how you feel. You can do what's... I build houses. And it's still certain things that I tried to teach them that didn't click until a man taught them. And then they came back like, damn, Ma, you was right. This is a year or two later. after a man confirmed it, right? But it is what it is, long as you got it, right? So yeah, you can't compete with the parent and cancel them out, because who's going to do your job, right? Everybody is there and put in place to do certain things, right? It was certain things that I was supposed to continue to do with her. Yep. So put a man in place to teach them so they wouldn't miss anything. I'm going as fast as I can, and then I filled in the gaps. But I let the men take the lead on certain things, right? And then again, I told you I stay up nights thinking about the things that she is not being taught, right? Yeah. Walking around thinking that she know everything, right? Because that inappropriate relationship they start with your child pretty much makes them feel like they're grown, right? Because if you got an adult having a conversation with a child as if they are an adult, that's an inappropriate conversation to have. And then if you're having a conversation with them about the parent, things that you should be talking to the parent about, that's an inappropriate conversation. So when you're talking to a child about parenting concerns and you're talking to them like they your friend and they your bestie, that right there puts a child in a headspace like they grown and they think they know everything. Right? So now here it is in my situation, you got a child walking around here that's an adult that don't know a lot of stuff, but think that they do, right? Oh my God, that was one of my nightmares. That was one of my nightmares. Because I stayed with my children every step of the way to make sure they didn't miss nothing. Remember, I'm the parent that if they didn't get it, I stayed there until they got it, right? So that means using a different technique. That means doing something different each time until they show you that they've got it. So I stayed every step of the way with mine. Right? So for her to be ripped away and torn away and certain things that I was teaching is not going to be taught, she's at a disadvantage for one, right? And for two, it's probably never going to be taught. And these are things that she should know, right? So all those building blocks that we talked about yesterday, yeah, stop being built at 15 and a half. So she's 20-something now, right? So all those years that I've been absent, all the things that I was teaching, it's not going to be taught. Out of the 29 blocks that I described to y'all yesterday that I used for the foundation of parenting, out of the 29 blocks, only one of them is going to be taught. And I bet you can agree that all 29 that I told you I used should be used, right? Especially if you want a strong foundation, right? Especially if you want a good kid, right? So how can all of them not go no further than that, and only one? Work ethic. Yeah, because he kept a job. So she probably saw that. She probably emulate that, right? But when it comes to all the other stuff that I told you I was teaching, who's teaching that? Who's teaching that, right? And I'm quite sure she's yearning for it, right? So she's probably looking for all those building blocks that I put out there, right? Couple of them she using, couple of them she probably don't know what to do with, but know it's a space somewhere. Where do it go, right? Fix it, Jesus, fix it. All blocks that were laid, blah, 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 supporting the bricks, everything I put in her needs to be nurtured. Yep. So everything I was teaching her, all the classes I was teaching her, all that need to be nurtured. Yep. And it need to be continued, right? So since I was putting so much into her in my parenting, some of those things I did should have been separated from things that I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So it should be a big ass box of extra credit over here for me, right? Which should help with the love and respect that she should have for me, right? So yeah, she should love me more, not less. What you think? Yeah, she should love me more. So when they lump it all up under that, what you're supposed to do as a parent, nothing is special, nothing is extra. Yeah. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. And another manipulation tip would be allowing the child to have an option of who they want to be in their life. Meaning that if the child say they don't want to live with you no more, they don't want you as their parent no more, and the other parent just stop the child from coming over, just cut communication, that's an option a child should not have. Remember we talked about that in your 9th grade year. We talked about different things, different options that you give your child when y'all cancel each other out, when y'all go against each other. I forgot to tell y'all it was a lecture today. Yeah. Child don't have an option. Yeah. Most of us are taught that we can't choose our family. Yeah. And that's not even including your mom and your daddy. Shit, they brought you here. right? That's definitely not an option, right? But most of us are taught not to. We can't choose our family. This is what you have. So you were taught to love them, accept them for who they are. Because why? They're your family. Period. It's no outside of that. It's no option. It's none of that. So a manipulative parent will make it an option. Will let the child know it's okay. You don't have to go over there, right? I know. But just know it's some parents out there. It's only a handful of them. My baby daddy being one of them. But yeah, most parents ain't doing this. Most of y'all are teaching y'all children that they can't choose their family and they don't have an option, right? But you got a handful of parents that's teaching a kid about emancipation. What's that? Emancipation? When you can go and divorce your parent. And you got some parents that's talking to your child about CPS, how to open up a CPS case. You're also talking to your child about taking videotape of the parent when they off guard so they can use while they're building their case. You got parents that's doing this. So I'm just letting you know, right? So, yeah, that's a manipulation too. When they make it seem as if it's an option and it's okay. That's why in our 9th grade year, I asked you, was you raising your child to be for family or was you raising your child to be fuck family? Right? And that depends on you as a parent, right? Because you got some people that was raised with no family support, no family dynamic or anything to where they don't care about family as much. They can care less, right? But then you got somebody else you might end up getting with a partner who's all about family. They have a supportive family. Like in my case, he didn't really have a lot of family. Right? And then his dad's side, they wasn't really dealing with them for real, right? So he kind of was recluse or kind of kept it. So it was hard to get him to come with me to family outings, birthday parties, because my side of the family, I had my mama and my daddy's side, and I had both of them in my life, and they knew each other. So my circle connected, right? When you have a situation where your mom and dad not together, but you still have a connection with your mom's side and your dad's side, even if it's just a little connection, it's just a few people that I have a connection with, right? But the fact that they know each other, it closes the circle. Right? Because of course my aunties and them know each other because they was with my mom and dad because they was teenage parents. But when they children know each other, like my cousin on my mom's side and my dad's side are connected on Facebook. They know each other's number. So my circle was closed. So of course I'm gonna teach for family, right? As to where he might teach fuck family. So y'all gotta establish that in the beginning. How y'all want to raise this baby? Right? So if y'all choose to raise the baby to be for family, if you are that fuck you family person, you have to compromise, right? You have to come on board, right? At least show that face, right? But you can't in the dark be teaching fuck family. Right? Because that's going to cancel. It's going to cause conflict. And it's going to, yeah. So, okay, y'all. I think that was it. Tomorrow we're going to get back to how we raising our little girls. Right? How we raising our daughters. I'm going to stay on Twitch for a minute. Right? Because it's a streaming site. So I'm going to kind of stay on for a minute. See if I can get some people to follow me. See what I'm doing. Facebook, you can go to YouTube and look for some more videos and share them for me. I appreciate it. Hey, Flora. Hey, Robert. Hey, Latrice. How you doing, baby? I appreciate you so much, Latrice. Hey, Roy. Hey, Lawrence. Okay, y'all, let me go because I got to get to work. I'm out.